When Pete Hegseth said about the generals needing to pass their physical tests, I agreed with. Not out of some fat shaming, but out of my infantile delusion that all our warriors would be able to fight our perceived enemies. In my delusion, I like to think of our generals as some Master Roshi figure. Although not in their prime, they can suddenly sprout muscles and power when the time is needed, and train our warriors on the infamous Kamehameha wave. This delusion from 90s anime paired with post 9/11 propaganda on the Disney Channel planted a seed in my brain that there needed to be warriors. They needed to fight a truly evil enemy who threatened the world's very existence. American soldiers' rules of engagement cannot fit into a childlike fantasy. A fantasy where Goku can go to a city and demolish things without repercussion. No civilian casualties, all to defeat and defend against the evil androids. It doesn't fit the framework of Power Rangers to hop into a robot the size of skyscrapers, run through a city, all to demolish the evil bat-looking creature at the end of the episode. Now, our American warriors are sent to rebuild a country and sell democracy. The rules of engagement from a world war are long gone. And those we ask to sell our democracy are young men, straight out of high school, late into their 20s. We sent them off to a foreign land to sell our government, to convince people with guns in their hands that our way is better. As young men, we have no framework for this in our fiction, our perceived heroes. Batman goes out into the streets of Gotham and strikes fear into the hearts of his enemies, going into alleyways and pummeling them short of death. In Saving Private Ryan, the heroes clung to each other, fighting for the life against the enemy, shooting all of them in their wake, going into a city and completely defeating them. In these fictions, there's nothing to be sold. There's just justice to be delivered. For these generals, if they are not all-powerful and strong in their own right, then what are they to do? They send the young man into war to walk the thin line between democracy and justice, sales and violence. I do not long for war. I do not long for violence. I do believe that our bullets and guns should be melted into plowshares. My framework for a hero is to raise his hands to create a spirit bomb and then ask for the buy-in of his peers, family, and friends to lift their hands as well and give the same energy to empower that bomb and completely destroy the enemy for the good of all of humanity. These generals I have little sympathy for because I believe they destroy young men's lives, putting them in impossible situations for the sake of the country. If they want to make heroes out of our young men and women, let them run and let them sweat. Let them run and let them sweat. Let them run and let them sweat, and may we all run and sweat alongside them with the hope that we would discourage ourselves from sending our young people off to meaningless war.